everybody! How's it going, Joe? Good. How are you? Oh, I'm super duper. Well, that's good. Been doing anything like super fun that we should know about? Well, today's been so nice outside. I've been playing outside all day long. All day long? Yes, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I know the sun is shining and the weather. Oh, the sun is so nice and hot. And ooh, I love the sun. Oh my goodness, Joe, you sure do. What else have you been up to? I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, I don't, just hanging out and playing. Well, you know what, Joe? Today I have 2 books in there. So good. Oh, let me guess, Miss Tracy. They're your favorites. Maybe they are, Joe. All the books are your favorite, Miss Tracy. I know, Joe, but really these 2 are like really, really, really good. I just love them. Oh, well, I'm excited. Why don't you start reading them? Because if you love them, I bet I'm gonna love them. Okay, Joe, you sit real nice and listen. Okay, I will. Good to see you, boys and girls. I hope everybody's doing good. Oh, that's so nice of you, Joe. Okay, you sit down real nice and you listen to me read 2 awesome books. Oh, you guys, this is so good. So good because it's by one of my favorite authors. I just don't know which one to read first. Okay, this one. My favorite one of them is Robert Munsch. Oh, his books are so good. I hope you like this as much as I do. This one is called Mud Puddle. And it's pretty funny. Jewel Ann's mother bought her clean new clothes. Jewel Ann put on a clean new shirt and buttoned up front. She put on clean new pants and buttoned them up front. Then she walked outside and sat down under the apple tree. Unfortunately, hiding up in the apple tree, there was a mud puddle. It saw Jewel Ann sitting there, and it jumped right on her head. She got completely all over muddy. Even her ears were full of mud. Jewel Ann ran inside, yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me." Her mother picked her up, took off her clothes, and dropped her into the tub of water. She scrubbed Jewel Ann till she was red all over. She washed out her ears. She washed out her eyes. She even washed out her mouth. Jewel Ann put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. She put on a clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she looked out the back door. She couldn't see a mud puddle anywhere, so she walked outside and sat down in her sandbox. The sandbox was next to the house, and hiding up on top of the house, there was a mud puddle. It saw Jewel Ann sitting down there, and it jumped right all over her head. She got completely all over muddy. Even her nose was full of mud. Jewel Ann ran inside. "Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me." Jewel Ann's mother picked her up, took off all her clothes, and dropped her into a tub of water. She scrubbed Jewel Ann till she was red all over. She washed out her ears. She washed out her eyes. She washed out her mouth and even washed out her nose. Jewel Ann put on a clean new shirt and buttoned it up the front. Then she put on a clean new pants and buttoned them up front. Then she had an idea. She reached way back in the closet and got a big yellow raincoat. She put it on and walked outside. There was no mud puddle anywhere. So she yelled, "Hey, mud puddle!" Nothing happened. So she yelled even louder, "Hey, mud puddle!" Jewel Ann was standing in the sunshine in her raincoat, getting very hot. She pulled back her hood. Nothing happened. She took off her raincoat. As soon as she took off her coat, out from behind the doghouse, there came a mud puddle. It ran across the grass and jumped right on Jewel Ann's head. She got completely all over muddy. Julianne ran inside yelling, "Mommy, Mommy, a mud puddle jumped on me!" Her mother picked her up, took off all her clothes, and dropped her into the tub full of water. She scrubbed Julianne till she was red all over. She washed out her ears, washed out her eyes, washed out her mouth, washed out her nose, and even washed out her belly button. Julianne put on a clean new shirt and buttoned up the front. She put on clean new pants and buttoned them up the front. Then she sat beside the back door because she was afraid to go outside. Then she had an idea. She reached up to the sink and took a bar of smelly yellow soap. She gave it a smell. Yuck! She took another bar of smelly soap and gave it a smell. Yuck! She put the smelly yellow soap in her pockets. Then she ran out to the mud puddle, to the middle of the backyard, and yelled, "Hey, mud puddle!" The mud puddle jumped over the fence and ran right towards her. Julianne threw the bar of soap right into the middle of Mud Puddle's middle. The mud puddle stopped. Julianne threw the other bar of soap right into the mud puddle. The mud puddle said, "Ah, yuck, yuck!" It ran across the grass, jumped over the fence, and never came back. And how funny is that? Now, does that ever happen to you guys? Mud puddles just happen to jump around and get you all dirty? Do you think your mom and dad know better? Maybe. Nobody knows. I have one more, and this one is maybe my favorite one by him. I mean, no, not really. One of the favorite ones. Okay, so I like all of them. I know. But really, this one's super good. And this one is Stephanie's Ponytail, and it is by Robert Munsch, and the art and illustrations are by Michael Marchinchenko. Love this book. Love it so much. One day, Stephanie went to her mom and said, "None of the kids in my class have a ponytail. I want a nice ponytail coming right out the back." So Stephanie's mom gave her a nice ponytail coming right out the back. When Stephanie went to school, the other kids looked at her and said, "Ugly, ugly, very ugly." Stephanie said, "It's my ponytail and I like it." The next morning, when Stephanie went to school, all the other girls had ponytails coming out at the back. Stephanie looked at them and said, "You are all a bunch of copycats. You just do whatever I do. You don't have a brain in your heads." The next morning, the mom said, "Stephanie, would you like a ponytail coming out the back?" Stephanie said, "No." "Then that's that," said her mom. "That's the only place you can do ponytails." "No, it's not," said Stephanie. "I want one coming out of the side, just above my ear." "Very strange," said the mom. "Are you sure that is what you want?" "Yes," said Stephanie. So her mom gave Stephanie a nice ponytail coming right out, right above her ear. When she went to school, the other kids saw her and said, "Ugly, ugly, very ugly." Stephanie said, "It's my ponytail and I like it." The next morning when Stephanie came to school, all the girls and even some of the boys had nice ponytails coming out just above their ears. The next morning the mom said, "Stephanie, would you like a ponytail coming out the back?" Stephanie said, "No." "Would you like one coming out the side?" "No." "Then that's that," said her mom. "There's no other place you can do ponytails." "Yes, there is," said Stephanie. "I want one coming out of the top of my head like a tree." "That's very, very strange," said her mom. "Are you sure that's what you want?" "Yes," said Stephanie. So her mom gave Stephanie a nice ponytail coming out of the top of her head like a tree. When Stephanie went to school, the other kids saw her and said, "Ugly, ugly, very ugly." Stephanie said, "It's my ponytail and I like it." The next day, all of the girls and all of the boys had ponytails coming out of the top. It looked like broccoli was growing out of their heads. The next morning, the mom said, "Stephanie, would you like a ponytail coming out the back?" Stephanie said, "No." "Would you like one coming out the side?" "No." "Would you like one coming out the top?" "No." "Then that is definitely that," said the mom. "There is no other place you can do ponytails." "Yes, there is," said Stephanie. "I want one coming out of the front and hanging down in front of my nose." But nobody will know if you are coming or going, her mom said. Are you sure that's what you want? Yes, said Stephanie. So her mom gave Stephanie a nice ponytail coming out the front. On the way to school, she bumped into 4 trees, 3 cars, 2 houses, and 1 principal. When she finally got to her class, the other kids saw her and said, Ugly, ugly, very ugly. Stephanie said, It's my ponytail, and I like it. The next day, all the girls and all the boys, and even the teacher, had ponytails coming out the front and hanging down in front of their noses. None of them could see where they were going. They bumped into the desk and they bumped into each other. They bumped into walls, and by mistake, 3 girls went into the boys' bathroom. Stephanie yelled, You're all a bunch of brainless copycats. You just do whatever I do. When I come tomorrow, I am going to have shaved my head. The first person to come the next day was the teacher. She had shaved her head and was bald. The next to come were the boys. They had shaved their heads and they were bald. The next to come were the girls and they had shaved their heads and they were bald. The last person to come was Stephanie, and she had a nice little ponytail coming right out the back. Do you think her friends were happy? The end. Kind of a silly book, but it's a good book to give a good reminder that we should all be our own person, right? Very, very true. Well, I am assuming you guys are outside today. It is so beautiful out. I bet moms and dads and whoever's got this teaching stuff, you guys are outside doing some recess. Good call. Don't worry, I'll post this so you can watch it again. And both books are AR books. So if you took a test on both the books, 1 point for the day. Yay! Well, have fun, you guys. I hope everyone's doing well and healthy. And what do we always say? Be kind.